Welcome to anyone watching this. I'm Victor, founder of BrainJoes, joined by Guy Perlot, the creator of Moringa Boost. If you're watching this, you're someone whose wisdom we value, not just for the resources. We are going to speak about the power of natural super plants and in particular of one, Moringa, along with providing a good overview on the investment opportunity that Moringa Boost presents today. Join me.
We can start.
Yeah.
Hi, Victor.
I remember the day that we were introduced to each other by our friends at Hub Brussels,
Yeah.
which actually gave me a flashback of the way I got first acquainted to Moringa. I was a CMO of a food and beverage brand. It was our first exhibition in the United States in Anaheim, California. And while I was approaching the different customers, there was a particular company that told me the following: if you have the right price with the right quality of moringa, I'm able to purchase 10 containers of moringa right on the spot.
Mhm.
So that's how I acquainted myself to moringa, and then I met you. Maybe tell me a little bit about your story with moringa and how it all started.
Well, about, I would say, 5.5 years ago, I met a farmer. I had a phone call actually from a farmer in Andalusia, where I lived for 22 years. And he told me about Moringa. And to be honest, I had no idea what was Moringa. But it was so convincing that I started investigating. And I was very surprised by the natural properties of this tree and this plant actually. And so I come from a family with a lot of doctors, chemists, pharmacists. So we start studying that plant, and after a while, I get in touch with a Belgian agronomist engineer who lives in Malaga and who was working with another farmer in the Malaga area, and we start developing, investigation on the moringa, and yes, it was quite interesting. So from that, we started elaborating some research. We started working on different approach for specific people, for example, menopause people, for seniors, also in something with the immune system. And after that, we were looking for European laboratories, because for me it was very important to keep this short supply chain. And so we start working on formulas.
Okay, so what you did, and you just actually highlighted it, you really went understanding the power of Moringa and then developing something that is ultra specific for a specific audience.
Exactly, exactly.
All right.
That was the point.
Okay, actually, coming back from my experience in supplement sector, and
Mhm.
I've seen from, I would say, first perspective how a good or okay product with a good story around it actually can make good financial results. But I really believe actually the key here is the product. So maybe just tell me a little bit about Moringa in general. Why should people actually know about it? Because from my perspective, and when we were you know evaluating the opportunity with brain Joes about supporting the Moringa boost, supporting yourself as a person, uh, I looked at data, and data, not just the 10 containers that we were talking about, but the data that the estimated market size by 2032 is going to be, if I'm not wrong, actually 19.6 billion, while today's 9.3.
Mhm.
So it seems like there is a huge uptake for the moringa plant, and I also feel like the approach of going specific, and tailoring specific demographics or specific problems is the way to go. But yeah, just tell me a little bit more about the moringa itself, what it is.
Well, Moringa has got different names. One of them is the miraculous plant, or the tree of life, which is well known. So it's been used in Ayurvedic medicine since thousands of years, uh, and it's got a good reason for that, actually, because actually there are so many properties. Antioxidant properties are very high with moringa, and the funny thing is that moringa has about an average, because it's a natural plant, so you cannot calculate from it may be different from crops to crops. But I mean, we're talking about 26% proteins, which is very high for a vegetable. On top of that, it's got a very high amount of fibers, talking about 24-25% of fibers, and a lot of other properties, like very high in vitamin A. We're talking about 1,560 milligram per 100 grams, which is very high. Also magnesium, potassium, calcium, and all that kind of thing. So it's a very interesting plant. And on another side, Moringa has an anti-glycemic property, which means it's very, very interesting for type 2 diabetics, uh, under medical supervision, of course. But it's also, by the way, it's a recommendation of the European health authorities. We say that Moringa may contribute lowering the sugar level in the blood.
Okay.
So it's very interesting, and for the future, I mean, unfortunately, as you can see our countries, the diabetics people are
It's just
just
rising. Just
exactly.
rising.
So we do believe that moringa may help contribute to the comfort of the patient affected by
To be
this
honest, I
disease.
have a very close friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
who is 70-year-old,
Right.
71
Mm-hmm.
to be precise, and I've been giving him the Moringa products for already in the past couple of months.
Really?
He has been really, not just from a diabetic point of view, but like how he feels about it. It's been great. And then comes my like next question again. Like I understand Moringa is in high demand, and this is not just the feeling of the market, but when we were looking at the opportunity overall, we've spoken to key opinion leaders like the biggest UK natural product distributors. We've spoken to Australian ones, to the US ones, etc. So we understand the market, and I feel like seems like Moringa, because of the properties, it's kind of a buzzword. And if I may just kind of make a little bit of a analogy, it's like AI today. Everybody's putting
Yeah.
Moringa into a product, and the idea is how the product that you've developed, how are they differentiating, how are they standing out, and it's not just the buzz of add Moringa.
Yeah, that's precisely a very good question, actually, because that's precisely the difference between Moringa Boost product and some other products that we can find on the market. First of all, there are very few elaborated food supplements or moringa based, I would say. And as said before, we have a very scientific approach of moringa. So for us, that's why actually we call the brand Moringa Boost, because for us, Moringa is a guideline really of all our products, and so we started taking this plant, the quality of this plant as a guideline, and then working with laboratories and researchers, we say, okay, we want to focus on, for example, one of our products, menopause. Okay, what does the women in menopause need to help going through this period of their life very smoothly? So we start working on that. Same for seniors. Okay, what does those people need, and what can we offer on top of the moringa qualities to help those people? Same for immune system. All our products were focused on a precise population, And from that, okay, we start working in very with researchers and scientifics and chemists and biologists and naturopaths and all those people. So we spend a lot of time actually in investigating. It took 4 years actually to have our product elaborated and authorized by the European health authorities. And so on top of that, we have developed a very interesting product. I'm very excited about it for athletes. Very very nice product. Yeah.
So, if I have to just, comprehend it, it's Moringa is really the North Star. It's using it as a guideline, as you said it,
Yeah.
but at the same time developing ultra specific solutions for specific audiences,
Yeah.
specific problems, like you mentioned, menopause. And to be very honest, actually, I really love the infusion tea, and I'm just gonna actually show it
There's a lot of success actually.
because
Yes.
that's the single reason why, for a certain period of time, in fact, I managed to totally exclude my coffee with something that has moringa but also has other substances.
Yeah.
So you're not limited to moringa.
No.
You're like innovating with the product. You're actually like this is the something I'm gonna give to any woman, but also I'm gonna take myself, to be very honest, because of the vitamins that there are.
Exactly.
And you kind of speaking of the 4 years of development, I think what needs to be said here is you innovated it with the delivery of the product, like how it's served. It's easy, you just open it and you drink it.
That's the point. Yes.
That's amazing. uh, I just want to actually now, speaking of, we've looked at the product, and there is going to be a whole pitch to show more details about the product.
Right.
But where does Moringa Boost stand today? And speaking of validation of the market, which is for me the single most important thing, because with a bad product and a great marketing, you cannot go that far. It's really about having a good product, especially nowadays.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And actually, we started working with U Pharma, which is leader in online sales in France and in Belgium for the second year now. And I was very surprised actually by the feedback from this company. So we started. When was that? In actually, if I remember, well, it was should be about June 24th. Um, we started working with them on a trial basis. And funny enough, actually, after the 6 months period, they were so excited that they said, okay, we don't want a second try period, just we'll just put it in our products. So I was very proud of that. And funny enough, for me, one of our products, for example, the immune system capsules, I was expecting sales from the month of October, November, because actually it's a very the composition of those capsules is vitamin D, zinc, magnesium, which are typically the things you take in winter. But without any advertising, without nothing, and amongst all the products New Pharma has got on his website, we start selling immune system automatically.
You
So
can't control the consumer, can't you?
no, I must admit I was really surprised by it, and so it's very positive because if in summer we can sell that kind of product, and of course the winter was the sales increased a lot.
So let me highlight that. Actually,
Yeah.
you said that without communication,
Yeah.
without marketing spent, you entered into the biggest pharma online chain or online store. And they were actually surprised by the pro, and they want to keep it. And that's for me like really the validation of a product, and the product market fit, which is tremendously important.
Yes, exactly. Because we're talking with a big company, actually, one of the biggest Belgian company in online retail, and they are very professional, I must say. Very correct. Also, I was very pleased because I
You pharma, we like you.
yeah, exactly. No, actually, because no, for me, I mean, doing business is one thing, but the human side of it is
Yeah.
very important to me. And I must say that they are very correct, very friendly, and very efficient on top of that. So, um, yeah, a good relationship and a very good surprise on the results. So we had very quickly.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, what we've done, Guy, in our research about Moringa Boost, of course, um, we have taken samples. We have, of course, asked the customer. As I said, for me, like customer is king, but also the way today brands. No, like we live in a changing world where it's so easy to create. Technology, AI, etc.
Very quick.
But those who stand and the brands who will actually last are the ones who position the customer first, who understand the customer, who engage with the customer. And that's why we've did that survey, sampling to customers that are part of the few target audiences that Moringa have built products around. And from the people that have replied, 75% actually gave a positive feedback. And out of those, 66.7% actually reported a great and substantial results on how they feel, which for me is actually really the proof of concept of we investing our energy, speaking actually today, speaking to investors, that there is something to look at this brand, but it's how you're going to do it. And for me, let's talk about actually the partnership. Let's talk how in this dense type of competitive environment of supplements, we could bring that brand and actually make something that lasts and adds value to the consumers. And I must say, um, from the point of view of Brain Juice, that uh, my passion are brands. But my passion is not just taking any brand, no offense Coca-Cola, but taking any brand and working with it. It's like seeing something that there is like great people, like, because it's really everything is based on people. So first, I would say first enabler for us was yourself and the values that you carry, but at the same time your experience, and also the product that you really crafted. You invested the time, you invested the energy, you invested the blood to get that. And I think that's a time where coming together, as we speak, and on behalf of Brain Juice, where we have in-house marketing teams, we have operational teams that are actually setting up the best business software out there, which is Udo. And then we have the strategy teams. We are actually at the moment setting up strategy, go to market strategy for like amazing organic brands that are turning above 40 million euros of revenue per year. So, kind of for me, I want to feel like, from your perspective, why do you think we could be successful having having that structure, and how do you feel about it? It just
Well, actually, I feel very comfortable about it, to be honest, because actually, from the first day we start talking, actually, I noticed that you don't. I would say you don't do that for only for business. I mean, I can feel some passion when you're talking about developing brands and bringing a product to highlight a product or some or a company. You feel it. I mean, it's not just a business for you. So for me, it is quite important. I'm 65 now, so I met a lot of people in my life. I used to work in that kind of business before in another life, and it's really your positioning and the way you talking about brands and your business, which convinced me to work together. So I'm sure that together in the future, if you I mean if you want to develop the brand, you will succeed to develop it. You will find because as you said, your team is very qualified, highly qualified, I would also say. And the good thing is that you've got, I mean, it's not just a team, it's a sum of very particular qualities that you are who can join forces to make something very nice. So I do believe that Brangels is the perfect partner to go ahead with this great venture.
You're very kind. Thank you so much for that. It's shared. I would say the feelings are shared, and I must say here actually, as we are speaking about strategy and how
Right. Mhm.
joining the right investment partner, getting the capital, how would that actually evolve? For me, there are four very important elements of a successful brands today, and they're like maybe just to summarize it, they are biased for action, they're great listeners, they have low ego, and they have a great product. So I feel like going forward, it's about to really understand those customers, really create that genuine connection with them, and tap on the community and actually be obsessed with the product.
Yeah.
So that's the way to go. How? What are we actually willing to get out of the investment partner that we are looking at? Because I think, like, for me, it makes sense to talk now about what you particularly are you looking at when attracting a next investor, and how would that work actually?
Actually, to be efficient and to have the return of our efforts and and the investment as soon as possible, I think we should go to digital promotional brand, which is very important. Why that? Well, just because when you are talking directly to the customer, as you said, we developed all our catalog of products for specific populations, so we told the same language, I would say. Um, for us, when we're talking about menopause, okay, we are talking and we know exactly how people with menopause, women with menopause, feel and what do they need. Why? Well, just because we work with women.
Yeah.
You know, me as a man, I don't know the exactly. I can put the scientific side, but there is all the rest, and that's why, you know, it's very important. So, talking with developing the internet communication, investing in that kind of business and channel, for us, it's the key to
I will add on to that because I mean I'm coming from the perspective where we've been turning around brands uh, as part of our daily routine. We've been adding all the social media channels that you can think of. We know the ins and outs. But for me, really the key, and this is a mantra that we have with our team, is really outfail the competition. Meaning you have to experiment how you can best reach your customer. And how to make him actually love your product. Because if people love Moringa Bus, that's actually the way to go. Coming back to successful brands and what they're doing, for me, there are four keys that are hyper important, and they are: be self-aware, have a low ego, be a great listener, and be biased for action. Because the brands that are going to be winning in the future are those who are close to their customers, they build audiences, and even they own the audiences, they build a community, they build trust around them, and they're hyper obsessed over their product. And hey, I'm really not concerned that we were gonna from early on be experimenting how we could make that actually work, because the team is there and we have the capabilities to really build not just one but multiple multi-million brands. So let's talk about the investment opportunity. uh, I know that Moringa Boost is raising 140,000 euros, but tell me how those actually going to be utilized in order to provide growth for the investors.
Right. Well, I would say in three different directions. First of all, as you know, actually, Moringa Boost is already selling quite well in Belgium and France. So as we are registered and we have get the sanitary authorization in 6 different European countries, we would like to settle this European country market first. So in those countries, when all those countries will be settled, the next step will be, of course, the United States, which is, funny enough, an easier market to get in that all the European, because we've got just one people to talk with. In Europe, we've got different
Yeah,
authorization to
yeah,
get.
exactly. And from actually my perspective, speaking of the say,
You've got
it's indeed
experience in
we
this
are
market, yeah.
doing the hard work right now,
Right.
pushing towards Belgium and France, where that's already there,
Definitely,
hyper
yes.
focus with the funds,
Yeah.
but the big potential and where the awareness and the billions of actually market consumption is in the States. So
Yes, yes.
it's we're gonna go there when we are ready.
Exactly. When we're ready, we don't have to go like mad in this market because it's a market we have to be just to be prepared, and we must make a lot of steps before entering this market. But it's definitely the objective, because actually on top of that, Moringa is also much more known in the States than in Europe.
Yeah.
So we are already, the knowledge of the Moringa, so immediately knowledge of the brand will be quicker, I would say.
But it's true also that actually the States are there ahead in many things,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But but
Coming.
like that means the awareness is going to be coming.
Yeah.
There are reasons why people should know about Moringa, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's talk about how we're going to use the funds then.
Well, first, we can develop mainly on the internet, investment on the internet. So to develop and to settle the market, as you say, France, Belgium, and other European countries. And then to put on the market this new product that we have developed already, so the energy gel for athletes, which is a very good product. So we will invest part of this money to develop this product, so to get the European the authorization, and then to start marketing this to have the production, of course, and then in a European laboratory. As you know, I'm very focused on short supply chain. And well, that's it. Yes.
Okay, so basically it's going to be uh, very vast majority of the funds going to go into marketing spend.
Yeah.
And then there is going to be also product development.
Part of it, the product development. Well, more than product development, because the product is we already invested in the development of this product, so it's done. Formulas are done, packaging is done, so the product is
Ready to go.
ready to go. But the investment would be so to start getting the authorization of the sanitary authorities of different
see.
countries, and to make the production.
And for the investors out there listening now,
Mhm.
how are we making sure actually that the operational costs? The question is, how much are your operational costs? What are you going
Right.
to do with that money?
Well, I used to be a consultant for all my life, working for a big company trying to cut costs. So that was a bit my specialty. So when I started this company, I really wanted to keep the cost, operational costs and fixed costs as low as possible. That's why actually all the logistic is subcontracted by a specialized e-commerce company, logistic company in Flanders. They are very efficient, actually. For just to give you an example, you can order on the platform at 5 o'clock, and then the same day it's shipped to the client. But I mean, I don't have to pay a fixed warehouse. I don't have to pay people there. So I'm obsessed. Well, Victor, thanks a lot for preparing this interview. Um, I really look forward starting working together and developing the brand as we say in the future. And I also would like to thank all the people who are looking to this presentation of Moringa Boost, and be sure that the investment will be worthy, and that we'll do all what we have in our power, and with your team also to develop the brand in Europe and in the States in the future with new products, of course, and just
I'm looking
taking
forward to
Moringa.
that.
Yeah,
I'm really looking. Thank you for your time. I'm sure that we're going to do our best, and then what the
nice.
future will bring, we are all going to know rather soon.
Fine.
Thank you again.
Thanks to you, Victor.
What I find particularly compelling about this opportunity is the strong foundation that's already built. There is 150,000 euros in product development invested, European R&D backing, and the market validation through New Pharma. This isn't just a concept, it's a proven product with a clear growth potential. Just like I mentioned at the beginning, at BrainJuice we believe in this business, and in particular we believe that Moringa Boost represents an opportunity to tap into a competition-tense industry, but through a scientific validation and the targeted solution that they have, build a strong and long-term value. If you're interested in joining us, I would love to schedule a conversation to dive deeper into the specifics. Thank you for watching.